Hello and welcome to ETCIO LeaderSpeak. In this session of ETCIO LeaderSpeak, we have with us celebrated author and one of the most influential CEO consultants across the globe, Dr. Charan. Now, the Cambrian explosion of digital initiatives across the business landscape has firmly established the fact that digital transformation is a P0 priority for enterprises across business verticals. In fact, organizations are pumping in huge amounts of money to strengthen their digital capabilities. IDC analysts believe that the investment in digital transformation projects is likely to increase to $3.2 trillion by 2023. But once you squint through all that data, you will find that data from media reports and research agencies like Boston Consulting Group, Everest Group, Forbes, and various other agencies reveals that 70 to 84% of digital projects fail to bear fruits. So why is it that the digital initiatives are withering on the vine? This is a question that we would want to understand from Dr. Charan, and one of his recently released book, The Digital Leader, also talks about why digital initiatives fail. Welcome, Dr. Charan. Thank you for taking out the time to be with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, far too many digital initiatives fail because they're either too large, they are too steeped in technology. There is a singular focus on technology, in fact, other than just people and processes. They are also too disruptive for the ongoing business. The other fact remains that the digital innovation is happening at a pace which is much faster than the regular business operations of an organization. What, according to you, are some of the reasons why digital initiatives fail across organizations?
Well, thank you first. And I had a delightful day today with some 100 executives. And I asked the same question from them. And here in that question, I'm talking to the experienced people, they know the answers. And one of the answers was mindset. And that the mindset is not digital transformation. It should be transforming the business. And digital technology is a technology that will help you transform the business. So people have gone digital transformation. It is wrong. It is the digitizing infrastructure and using algorithms and building the engine to transform the business, the industry, and also the behavior of the customer and the consumer. So those who started from that mindset, they are succeeding. Those who went with the mindset, they go to digital transformation, they hire an army of engineers, they create big programs, and they were not able to persuade the business people who are going to use this weapon to transform and create new businesses. So major reason is that you start with the business, say with the help of the technology of algorithms, where can we take this business in the future? How we can make it more convenient for the customer? How can we make it a lower price, cheaper, faster? And what new needs we can create for the customer? Then work backwards. What technology, what algorithms, get the experts to do that. Second reason, they want to eat the whole elephant in one bite. You got to create discrete projects. You have to learn how to execute them. It's a lot of learning curve. And the other point is, it's a black box. People don't understand it. We did before creating joint ventures, licensing. Say we're going to get a chemical technology, we go to the plant, delegate to somebody. This one is a total change in decision making, in producing new products, in creating alliances. If our people who are running the business don't get it, you will never succeed. And the technological people going there, they have to change their mindset and change their attitude. They got to go to the consumer of technology, and start with their vision, their strategy, their pinpoint, their 5-year plan, 3-year plan, 10-year
So
plan.
taking an outside-in approach to digital.
Outside-in approach, future back.
Right. Perfect. Very nicely summed up. And some of the very critical points that you highlighted was that organizations need to be very clear of the business outcomes that they want from digital, and then align it to the constantly changing business priorities and the customer expectations, which is a very valid point.
I think that a good algorithmic technology guy will show you, once he understood the business, she understood the business, that you can take this business 10 times larger if you use it. It's not just optimization. So I have those where you open the eyes and say, if I did that, we can be 10 times larger in 5 years. It's true.
Right.
So if you look at Amazon, they grew double every 3 years. So in 9 years, you're getting there. So somebody has to show that what you could do with it. And you got to build the trust to do that. And that's the difference.
Right. Perfect. Now, what do you think organizations need to experiment in a consistent manner? What is the approach that they should take? Should they take an approach to incremental change or radical change to the way they operate, the way they behave, the way they are structured?
You see, in a simple basis, there are 3 elements in any business. Most of them. They need to draw the value chain end to end as a map. It's a demanding exercise. And then, arbitrarily, there are 3 parts to it. In the value chain, at one point, you have the internal operations. On one side, you have the front end to connect with the customer, either directly or through intermediaries. On the other side, you have suppliers. So here, you conceive what could be the future of this value chain, and then you carve out specific discrete projects. And to conduct those projects, you've got to see the data, you've got to see how it is properly curated, and you've got to see transparency of data and have a single source of truth. Once you do that, you select a concrete, discrete project, you deliver it, you learn it, you build a lot of credibility, people see the merit in it, and then you go forward with it. The project you select, it could be incremental, it could be quantum. That depends in the business, in the industry, because it's not necessarily quantum, it's not necessarily incremental, it depends what could make a big difference.
Now, in your recently released book, The Digital Leader, you recommend organizations to take a simpler approach to digitization. So, you also recommend the organizations to take a phased approach to digital transformation. So, how do you think the organizations should go about, undertaking a digital transformation initiative piece by piece, and, like you said, not eat the entire elephant all at once?
Yeah, I think first thing you got to do, the objective is not digitization. Objective is business to go to the next level. and using digital technology to get you there. And in doing that, you have to do learning. And learning is done by doing, not in the classroom. And that is why you use project-based. Now, all these companies that are native, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Netflix, Uber, they all began with the projects. Then they became more higher scope. Then they build the engine, and they become more complex. Many companies want to do the more complexity in one step. Is not going to happen. They're going to fail. So it's not new, because they had to learn too. They did not know until they did the first one, second one. Then they got expertise. Then they built the engine. Then they got 20,000 engineers. They build the infrastructure to do that. And therefore, you got to go in the legacy companies from business to identifying what parts of technology, digital algorithms, you're going to do that. And so your infrastructure is going to be developed that way. What is common to all of them is a single source of truth, the data flow. Their data, also getting data from others. And the data becomes a very critical part, which we did not have before. And that's the part we have to educate, persuade the business people that this data, this way, that way, some other way, can create an exponential growth for you. Here are the examples, here are the suggestions. And most business people will buy that into this, but they are right in asking what's the risk, what's the difficulties in execution.
Now, one of the other challenges with digital transformation is that there is far too much focus on digital and the digital technologies, but not so much on the transformation and the transition that's required to make digital transformation successful. So what approach do you recommend to organizations so that they can focus more on the transformation side of things and not so much on the technology piece, because that will fall into place once the processes and people are fine with the entire transformation?
Important question. One is that only human beings do the transformation. Companies don't. So the attitude and mindset of the technology people is very crucial. And they have to understand with their mindset and attitude is what is the business transformation and work backwards. So we have technology people who do that. We have technology people who will never be able to do that. So there lies the selection of the technology people who want to learn, who want to collaborate, who have patience to work with business people. Because the business people have a certain mindset that is different from the technology mindset. So I have a situation here in India, one of the top 5 business leaders, where I trained the technology people how to work with the business people. And they went through very tough time because you teach them, I said, well, show what you have done for this particular unit. I said, you don't have it yet. I said, if I were the CEO of this business unit, I'll be polite, but I take you out of there in half an hour. It won't work. So they need to be trained. Just the way I showed you revenue, profit, so on. I said, put that in that language. So they're doing it now. They're moving.